parts. Now why won't you show me?
Because I don't know it. I don't know it, okay? No one does. Maybe we used to, but not anymore.
I want you to stop and think about the biggest plot hole in the entire Kung Fu Panda franchise. In the third movie, we are told a beautiful, ancient story. 500 years ago, Master Oogway was dying. His best friend, General Kai, carried him through the freezing mountains till they found a secret village of pandas. These pandas weren't just cute animals who eat bamboo. They were literal gods. They were the original masters of Qi, the mystical energy that flows through all living things. They used their magic to heal Oogway and save his life. But when Po finally reunites with his biological father and travels to the secret panda village to learn this ancient magic, what does he find? He finds a village of lazy, rolling dumpling-eating pacifists who have absolutely no idea what Qi even is. Po's dad admits that the entire species just forgot. So, what actually happened? We're going to prove that the pandas didn't forget their magic. They were silenced. To understand this cover-up, we have to look at the lie we are fed in Kung Fu Panda 3. Po discovers that General Kai, a spirit warrior who steals souls, is coming to destroy the Valley of Peace. Shifu tells Po that Kai can only be stopped by a master of Qi. Conveniently, Po's biological father, Li Shan, shows up and says,
I can teach you, son. Of course. I'm a panda.
So, Po leaves his home. He travels across the freezing mountains. He goes to the secret panda village. He spends days learning how to roll down hills and eat 103 dumplings in one sitting. But when the time comes to actually learn the magic that will save his friends from being murdered by Kai, Li Shan drops a bombshell.
Parts. Now why won't you show me?
Because I don't know it. I don't know it, okay? No one does. Maybe we used to, but not anymore.
When I watched this scene, my brain completely broke. If an ancient civilization discovered how to harness the literal energy of the universe, a power that can heal the sick and bring dead plants back to life, they would treat it as their most sacred religion. They would carve it into stone. They would teach it to every single child the second they were born. The idea that a society of powerful mystics just slowly got lazy and forgot they had superpowers is a massive, insulting lie. Knowledge like that doesn't just fade away. Knowledge like that is actively, intentionally erased. And there is only one person in the Kung Fu Panda universe who had the power, the motive, and the opportunity to erase the history of the pandas. Master Oogway. If we're going to accuse Oogway of erasing a culture's history, we need a motive. Why would the wisest, kindest master in the world do something so sinister? Because Oogway realized that Qi wasn't just medicine, it was a weapon of mass destruction. Look at the transcript. Shifu reads Oogway's ancient scroll to the Furious Five.
Pandas who use the power of Qi to heal me. They taught me how to give Qi.
Oogway and Kai are the two greatest warlords in China. They are brothers in arms, but the absolute second Kai realizes how Qi works, he becomes corrupted. In a matter of days, Kai transforms from a loyal best friend into a power-hungry, soul-stealing demon. Oogway is forced to fight his best friend in a battle that shook the earth, before banishing Kai to the spirit realm for 500 years. Now, put yourself in Oogway's shell. You just watched a magical energy turn your best friend into a monster, and then you look over at the panda village. You see hundreds of bears walking around, freely using this exact same magical energy. Oogway realizes a terrifying truth. The pandas are sitting on a nuclear arsenal. Sure, the pandas are peaceful now. They are using the Qi to heal, but what happens in 100 years? What happens if one panda gets greedy? Just like Kai, what happens if an outside army invades the village and forces the pandas to teach them how to steal Qi? If the secret of Qi gets out, the world will burn. Oogway knows that as long as the pandas have this magic, the universe is in extreme existential danger. So, Oogway makes the ultimate dark choice. He decides to sacrifice the identity of the pandas to save the rest of the world. How do you make an entire species forget their magic? First, you isolate them. Before the Kai incident, the pandas were clearly known to the world, but at least they weren't hiding at the edge of the earth. But after Oogway defeats Kai, the pandas vanish. When Mr. Ping and Lee finally reach the ice wall in the third movie, they take a secret elevator up into a snowy hidden valley entirely cut off from the rest of the planet.
This is the secret Panda village. No wonder you keep it a secret.
Oogway forced the pandas into hiding, but isolation wasn't enough. He had to strip them of their power. As the supreme grandmaster of Kung Fu, Oogway held absolute authority. He likely convinced the panda elders that Qi was a cursed art. He showed them the destruction of Kai. He told them, if you continue to practice Qi, tyrants will hunt you down. You must bury the scrolls. You must stop teaching the children. You must forget. And over the course of 500 years, the cover-up worked perfectly. Generations passed. The children were only taught how to eat, roll, and sleep. The greatest mystical warriors in history were successfully genetically and culturally nerfed. Oogway turned them into harmless, lazy, chubby bears so that they could never be a threat to the world, and more importantly, so they could never be a threat to the Jade Palace. If you think this sounds too dark for Master Oogway, let me present the absolute smoking gun of this conspiracy theory. If Oogway wiped the memory of the pandas to hide the existence of Qi, he also had to wipe the memory of the incident itself. He had to erase General Kai from history, and the movie proves this unequivocally. When Kai arrives in the mortal realm, he tries to intimidate two farmers.
General Kai, Supreme Warlord of all China.
Who?
You may know me as the Beast of Vengeance.
It is played off as a running joke. Nobody knows who Kai is. But it isn't a joke. It is terrifying. When Kai attacks the Jade Palace, he screams at Master Shifu.
Kai. Nope, never heard of him.
Master Shifu is the grand historian of the Jade Palace. He has read every scroll. He knows the lineage of every master. And yet, he has absolutely zero idea who General Kai is until he digs into a hidden, secret scroll written in Oogway's personal handwriting. How is it possible that the supreme warlord of China, the guy who commanded the army alongside Oogway, was completely forgotten? This is clearly because Oogway systematically erased it. Oogway wiped Kai from the history books. He destroyed the records. He rewrote the history of the world to make it look like he invented Kung Fu all by himself. He wanted to be worshipped as a solitary god.
I will not let you destroy Oogway's memory.
Why not? He destroyed mine.
Kai isn't just an evil monster who wants to break statues. He's a betrayed brother. He spent 500 years in solitary confinement in the spirit realm, obsessing over the fact that his best friend stole his army, stole his glory, erased his name from the earth, and locked him in a cage. Kai is coming back to reclaim the respect that Oogway actively stole from him. But Master Oogway is smart. He's the ultimate 4D chess player. He knew that erasing Qi and erasing Kai wasn't a permanent solution. He knew that one day, Kai would eventually steal enough Qi in the spirit realm to break out and return to the mortal world. If the pandas were nerfed, and Shifu didn't know how to use Qi, who was going to stop Kai? Oogway needed a failsafe. He needed a panda who didn't grow up in the secret village. He needed Po. Think about the timeline of the entire franchise. Lord Shen receives a prophecy that a panda will defeat him. Shen slaughters the pandas. Po's mother hides him in a radish crate. Po ends up being raised by Master Ping the goose. Po is chosen by Oogway to be the dragon warrior. We always thought this was just a lucky string of destiny. But what if it was orchestrated? At the end of Kung Fu Panda 3, Po and Oogway are talking in the spirit realm.
You finally became the panda you were always meant to be.
Oogway didn't pick Po by accident. He picked Po because Po was the only panda in the world who wasn't brainwashed by Oogway's own cover-up. Because Po was raised by a goose, he still had the curiosity and the limitless potential to learn Qi. But Oogway goes even further. How did Po's biological dad, Li Shan, suddenly know exactly where Po was at the beginning of the movie? Li Shan says he received a message from the universe.
As I hoped you would when I sent the message to your father.
Let's put all the pieces on the corkboard. Oogway is sitting in his spirit realm. He sees Kai getting stronger. He knows Kai is about to break out. So Oogway essentially sends a text message to Li Shan, guiding him to the noodle shop to find Po. Oogway knows that Li will take Po to the secret village. He knows that the village will be forced to remember their ancient magic in order to survive Kai's attack. Oogway suppressed the magic for 500 years to keep the world safe. And then he hit the unmute button at the exact moment the world needed the magic back. And Oogway is terrifying. Brilliant master plan works flawlessly. When Po is losing to Kai in the spirit realm, the pandas in the mortal realm finally wake up. Lishan, Mr. Pink, and the entire village gather in a circle. They remember who they are. They remember what they are capable of.
Come on, son. Fight!
Po?
You taught us who we were meant to be.
They project their chi into the spirit realm, saving Po. Po transforms into the ultimate dragon warrior and overloads Kai with chi until the villain literally explodes into nothingness. The threat of Kai is permanently eliminated. The pandas are reawakened to their true heritage, and Po becomes the bridge between the mortal world and the divine. All because of Churchill planned it half a millennium ago. History is written by the victors, and Oogway made sure he held the pen. What do you think? Did Oogway orchestrate the greatest cover-up in animation history? Let me know your conspiracy theories in the comments below. If this video made you question everything you thought you knew about the Jade Palace, hit that subscribe button. We tear apart the hidden psychology and dark lore of your favorite movies every single week.